Welcome everybody to the Medium Ghetto podcast with your host Jamar. We got a special guest in the building today, Cookie herself, all the way from Dallas, Texas. What's up, Cookie? I haven't seen you in forever.
A month. Hey, what's going
That's
on?
forever in podcast time, right?
It was our first time in forever, so it's a
I
whole
know.
lot going on. I'm
That's a deep.
good.
That's good. That's good. So what's new?
Absolutely nothing.
What you mean?
I've been low key. I had a very low key summer. So since podcast summit, I've been chilling. Ain't nothing new but rest and reset. That's the name of this season is rest and fucking reset. So it's been uneventful.
Uneventful? Is that a good thing for you?
Hell yeah, absolutely. I'm somebody that typically is all over the place. I'm involved in everything, trying to be everywhere with everybody. This was a summer where, first of all, it was a heat wave in Texas. So there's that. But I need to sit down and recalibrate. Like when you're building a platform and you got a life and, all of that stuff, you got to prioritize shit and sit your ass down somewhere. So this was a sit your ass down somewhere season for me, and I loved it. I don't want to go back to nothing else. Nothing else.
Nothing else?
I like it here.
And we met at the podcast conference, and you have the Dirty Bag podcast, correct?
I do. That's my baby.
So, can you explain that concept? Because I know when you first said it, I was like, what is the Dirty Bag?
People always, their mind completely go left. Dirty bag, it really just means unpacking your life. And when I say unpacking our shit, but when people hear that, they automatically think negative. So it's not really a bad thing. It's just life gets filled with ups and downs. So it's taking a minute, sorting through your shit, see what your wins are, what your L's are, what's worth celebrating, what's worth taking a deep dive into. It's literally just really the short version is it's grown folk trenches. It's what we all go through every day. I just give a space to talk about it. And sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes we unpacking wins because we don't always talk about our wins. So it's grown folk ass shit.
I like grown folk ass shit.
Yes.
Sometimes, we a little childish out here in these streets.
You might be a little bit.
I'll try to be. I won't lie. I have some fun sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm usually the wet blanket, believe it or not. I'm usually the stick in the mud, which is wild. So I've been trying to be a little bit more lively.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, my shit's still popping up. That just pissed me off. That's okay. Life is life over here, but it's all right. We're gonna
TikTok like, yo, what about this, bro? What's going on? But so where did you get the concept from? Like, what sparked that?
It wasn't even the universe gives you what you're supposed to use. That's why I believe in doing things that you called to do and not what everybody else is doing. The original name of the podcast was actually Sticky Notes. That's what it was gonna be. Because I used to keep like a shit ton of sticky notes on my wall with just topic ideas. And it had been on my wall for years. I was just accumulating all these ideas. And I want to say about a month and a half before it was time to launch this 2 months before it was time to launch this podcast. I was minding my business and something was like, nope, it's going to be Dirty Bag. And the concept just kind of unfolded. So it wasn't my idea. I just think the universe gives you what you are meant to use. So that's how I know it was not me. Because that ain't what I was going with. I had the same podcast name for like 3 years in my head.
That's dope. Yeah. So what type of topics do you cover?
I mean, anything that we go through. Like it's a wide variety of topics. I really decide on my topics based off people that I see that I think are interesting. So when I'm not doing solos, like I've had birth workers. I've had entrepreneurs and creatives that talked about dealing with COVID and how that messed up their ability to curate art. I've had herbalists on. Just different. So, I mean, it's just different walks of life. Everything that a woman, a 35 to 44-year-old Black woman would go through. Those are my guests. So mothers, entrepreneurs, 9-to-5ers that are running businesses, people just wanting to talk about life. So anybody that fits into that category.
I really enjoyed the one with the womb massagers.
Oh, yeah. With Clarice. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we did. It
That
took us
was
a minute to. We did a total of 3 episodes. Actually, she's been on 3 times. Yeah,
I
and
like the who was it? The transgressions.
yes, that was her. That was the line that really just took over on TikTok. They was talking about that one line for days. And what's funny about episodes like that is we were tired. We weren't even ready. We didn't even want to record because I recorded somebody else before she came in. And those two guests met each other. And it turned into a 2-hour, who do you know in Dallas? Who do you know? And the conversation went to a real controversial place. So it was draining. So by the time that guest left, Clarice was tired. I was tired, but it was like, all right, let's do this. And the funny thing is, I was bringing up things that I knew she didn't really care to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That she doesn't care about celebrity news, but I knew the way the way our dynamics worked. If I touched on this, we were going to be able to intertwine it in the real life. I pushed, and it was genius. So it's just knowing what type of things to ask your guests to get the type of shit that you know is going to come out of them. So that was funny. We didn't want to do that episode. We was both tired.
It was gold. Like that was gold. I loved it. I was like, yo, this is good. And apparently guys got wounds too. I was like, damn.
Yeah, which I heard a little bit about it before, because apparently like now there's all kinds of people like that popping up all over the place that specialize in that. So it's a thing now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I really and you was dope at the conference too. I think the first time I see you, I was like, oh, it's something about her. You know, you can tell someone's like energy right off the bat.
I'm that girl. Absolutely.
I was like, something different about her. You were very comfortable. You know, I mean, I didn't have to guard my wallet.
I mean, you probably did. I could rob your ass, but I mean, that wasn't the environment to be worried about that kind of stuff, though. This is a bunch of nerdy ass podcasters. So
nerdy ass podcasters.
A bunch of nerdy ass podcasters. But
and, I definitely been checking out your social media. You seen some people you knew at the podcast conference, right?
Yeah.
Did you see anybody, you know, any guys?
I did. I talked to, if you guys want to tap into the Dirty Bag podcast, I speak about the conference, my last episode of season 2, where I saw somebody that I kind of played with back in the day. And that's what it was. He actually paid for my wings in the lobby. It was pretty cool. And
damn, you got free wings?
Yeah, I got he bought me some free wings. He sat at my table, got some content with his little videographer that was following him around, paid for my wings, and we
split.
Yeah, split. All about our business. Yes.
You know, it's crazy. I've seen someone I haven't seen in 10 years there, and we never told each other we are gonna go. We just randomly like, yo, bro. I looked behind me. I was like, yo, Andre. He was like, yo, Jamal. I was like, yo. And we both got beards now. Like back then, we both was freshly shaven. I think like 10 years ago, that was the cool thing.
Yeah.
And then we both had beards. It was different, but we knew each other. It was dope. And like going to Miami, this is my first time going to Miami, period, and by myself. So,
oh, yeah, it's my first time being. I mean, I've been through Miami, like to go for a cruise, but I have a brother that lives there, so I had to see my sibling that I never get to see. But I liked it though. I actually liked the vibe of Miami, and maybe it was because I didn't have to really spend no money. I was in my homegirl's Airbnb for free, so there was that. And the first day, I got my sibling to buy me food and shit. So it was a pretty good situation for me. But I think the next time they're probably going to have it in Atlanta. It looks like that's what David Shands is hinting at, because he was asking about, I would prefer Atlanta. I would prefer Miami, but I get it. More folks would come if it's in the Black Mecca.
The Black Mecca, indeed.
Yeah.
And I remember, what was it? Oh my gosh! And you're originally from what city?
I'm from St. Louis. I'm a Midwest girl.
Midwest?
Yes, I'm Midwest.
Isn't that like the same like places? What's her name? It's a rapper.
Yes, whoever you finna say, yes. I mean,
it's a lot of rappers prior from there.
Not what it's known for, but yeah, that's where Sexy Red is from. People mostly hear St. Louis, they automatically go to Nelly. I automatically go to No Y'all. We kicked off a whole damn movement, a damn modern day civil rights movement, but we could talk about rap. So no, I'm a Midwest girl, but I lived in Kansas for almost a decade. That's where I moved to for work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, nope,
And
Midwest girl.
you're a tech nerd, right?
No, not really. I'm not a tech nerd. I just fell into tech. It was an
You just fell
industry.
into tech.
Yeah, I've been in sales for a long time. So when you in sales, you can pretty much navigate to any industry. It's gonna be the same shit, you know. So, but no, I'm in tech. I don't know how much longer I'll be in it, but keeps the lights on a little bit.
A little bit.
A little
Just a
bit.
little bit. Lights a little dimming. They dimming.
A little bit. Shit's high. It's expensive as fuck. Texas. It's expensive as shit to live down here. So
I just thought it was a good economy.
anybody's, I mean, it's money down here, but the shit is high. Like it's expensive. So I mean, it all balances out kind of. It's high as hell, but it's also high because all of our asses, all these transplants moving here, rising, raising the prices of everything. So I guess I would be a contributing factor to the shit costing so much money. But I mean, the opportunities and the connections, though.
Yeah, it's really like you were telling about the radio show. I think that's amazing. Like how people got like a lot of radio hosts, a lot of different type of like
Oh
big
yeah,
people down there. That's amazing.
yeah. I mean, I didn't think going to a media mixer last week that one of the panelists was, part of the Shade Room teams. I was like, oh, you just recorded at the studio on that. So yeah, that's wild.
It's a
But
small world.
you got to put yourself in situations and environments that's going to help you elevate and get you around the folks you need to be around to get you to where you're trying to go. So,
And that's what I took for the podcast conference too. Like just paying to get in the room. It was life changing. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna digress from this, but we're gonna have I'm gonna question you, all right? It's
come
gonna
on.
be unpack-a-thon. We're gonna have some questions. It's not gonna be nothing crazy though.
Okay.
Get your mind ready.
Come on. I'll stay ready.
They're gonna probably like, yo, he's interrogating her. All right. First question. What's the most common misconception people make about you?
The most common misconception people make about me is that I'm mean. I'm very blunt. Like I'm from St. Louis. We just tend to, the way we talk and our delivery, and I don't sugarcoat a lot of things. So people that are not from where I'm from, let me say that, because the St. Louis and be like, bitch, shut up. But and when I'm around people that are a little bit more reserved and conservative, my words can cut when I don't mean to. So that's probably the biggest misconception is that I'm mean. I'm not. I love on everybody.
Yeah, you're very inviting. You are blunt.
But
You called me a little child. It's like, damn, I gotta go home and think about. I'm at home and I'm gonna think about that. Oh, that's a good thing.
I don't know what to tell you.
But you also a Gemini too. That's a good thing.
The mightiest of them all. And that contributes to the misconception because you don't know which one of me is gonna show up, and that's fair. You might get somebody that's really bubbly or somebody that really don't fucking want to be bothered with none of you niggas. So
Damn.
So there's a couple of very extreme sides to me that you would have to spend time getting to know me to know how to navigate. I'm like, okay, well, she'll come back around. So me being a Gemini definitely contributes to the misconceptions, but the strong survive. The strong survive.
The strong surviving. I like Geminis. Y'all dope. And y'all interesting. Like, yeah. I could say it's nothing. Y'all never get boring. You know what I mean? It's always...
We get bored so easily. That's the thing. We can't deal with that's what people think we crazy with Two-Face. No, we just you're maxed out. We've maxed out the possibilities for you to hold my interest. That's it. Like we maxed out.
Y'all the only people I can call at 9 p.m. and be like, yo, you want to do this?
Oh, we do some dumbass shit.
Yo, I'm like, yo, y'all full of shits. I be like, yo, I'm outside. What you mean you outside? I'm outside. Get in the car.
We down for a
y'all
goofy
down
ass
for it.
We down for a goofy ass mission. I ain't gonna hold you. We really are.
I won't lie. I can tell a Gemini from how far they gonna let me do shit. How far we go places. I'm like, let's test this.
Sometimes maybe people assume and then it goes left. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna have a little deeper question though, right? Ready for this?
Go ahead.
All right. Is there something that you used to make you happy but doesn't anymore?
Brunch with a lot of people.
Elaborate.
That was my thing. Oh my God. Girls meet up at brunch. Now I notice that a lot of it is opportunistic. A lot of it is social climbing. I like to keep it very simple, ducked off somewhere with like one or two.
Mm.
I don't like huge gatherings because I don't like fake shit. I don't like performative things. I'll do it at first and it's fun a couple of times, but as I start to feel you out and see how you move, I'm gonna get that attitude that people tend to think I have.
Who told you got an attitude?
Well, nobody ever tells me anything. It'll come to me by way of, or it'll be some nonchalant, passive aggressive. But yeah, I used to love like group brunches. I don't feel like babysitting and doing all of that shit. And you want to do content and want to be tagged, and I don't like performative things. That's what I don't. I don't like activities that encourage performative behavior. There we go.
And you mean performative because they're not really being authentic?
Yeah, they're not being authentic. Is what can I get out of being around you in this moment? So I always have to ask myself, like, why do I want to go to this event? Like, do I really give a fuck about these people? Do I really care? So it's really just about just trying to be real and being around folks that you want to build genuine connections with. Because I don't like fake shit.
You know what's crazy? Story. I went to go see Funny Marco the other week.
Yeah.
I love his sense of humor because, like, for so long, like, awkward sense of humor in the Black community was like not cool, but he made it cool somehow. So I'm like, all right, let's go. That's my sense of humor. It's like awkward. I'm like, all right, bet I'm gonna go see him. But what I seen was exactly what you're talking about. I seen people who was just trying to get tagged and everything. It was the most annoying shit I ever seen in my entire life. Because I was in there networking. I gave people all the comedians about hot sauce and everything like that.
Oh, that's dope.
And like they let me on stage for 5 straight minutes. So I actually got to tell some jokes on stage. And it was cool because like we really was bonding. He's a Gemini too, by the way.
I can see that.
And like we just was having a ball. We was having a blast. And he felt like a friend I had for like forever, but we just finally met up in a long time.
Damn, let's get you better get you an awkward crew.
Yeah, so he got me into so one of his comedian friends that's going on tour, he's actually gonna be working with me to be like a mentor to me. So that's why I'm learning a little bit of comedy. So that's dope.
Oh shit. Well, you better go ahead.
But all I have to say is I got so annoyed that people were literally like asking to get tagged in, and they were getting mad at me because he pushed me like in front in line to talk to me.
Oh wow.
I mean, they were getting
if
petty.
I paid for a VIP meet and greet you up in front of me, I would have had a damn attitude.
Yeah, so. I understand. I totally understand. And one girl like was burning on my shoes. That's how mad she was. She was so frustrated.
She was what?
She was lighting my shoes up.
Her lash coming off.
I don't know. Let me see.
Dude, I recorded my last episode and the lash started lifting. So I couldn't even do my zoom in shot. I had to just leave it wide because I'm like, man, you zoom in, that lash was like, bitch, we outside. I said, oh my God.
You ever had like the fan on and lashes blow off or?
No, I mean, typically I get my makeup. When I go get my makeup done, the lash ain't going nowhere. But for me, I discovered they have like magnetic eyeliner now. And I guess, this is for people that like myself that don't know how to put on lashes. So you put the eyeliner on first. You got to hurry up and put the lash on before the liner dries up because it's magnetic. Only thing about it is it's cheap, so it might not catch. So that one little piece of the lash just be out here like flipper.
So it's like a little edge off, like right here, like on the end.
Yeah, just like lifting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't know. I got done with the episode and I edited it and I was like, oh, I know you fucking lying. Yeah. It was bad. It was fucked up. It was so fucked up. But yeah.
Listen, I don't know how you deal with lashes. I'm so happy, like, as a guy, we used to be ugly. But, you know.
The ugly motherfuckers starting to get drugged. Like, the ugly ones got the most audacity. They talking the loudest. So they getting put back in their place. Patchy beards and gingivitis. Like,
so a loud person put you in the. Let's talk about that. Like, what? You got any stories?
About what?
About the audacity of these ugly people.
No, I think it's when I tell you I never the most quiet. I probably went on one date in the past year. So it's been quiet. My shit has been, this has been the most drama free. I know people really feed off that, baby. I ain't got nothing for you.
Damn.
I'm on grown shit. I don't have 25-year-old stories. I mean, because first of all, typically, I mean, my type in the past has been ugly dudes though. Like I don't like people that are conventionally attractive. I tend to like funny looking with really good personalities, arrogant and cocky. That's kind of been my thing. But when you start pissing me off, I start realizing that you do look like a startled honey bun or some shit like that. So yeah, I've always kind of liked unattractive guys, but I mean, I don't. Again, it's been very quiet over here. But moving forward, I'm gonna need you to look good. When the residue wear off and you piss me off, I'm going to need you at the very least to just be easy on the eyes. I gotta understand. Huh?
So like any guys watching this, if you weren't interested, you just call them all ugly, right? You just call a lot of people ugly.
I can't see. I mean, ugly people are ugly. I don't know what to say. Everybody ain't cute, just like every girl ain't cute. I'm one of those people. I'm fine depending on the day. Sometimes I look really good. Sometimes it's questionable. But because of my inner, you ain't fucking with me on either day. But sometimes I got like a little cartoon character, and I'm okay with that.
That's okay, like a cartoon character. You at least look interesting.
Yeah, I got the forehead of a West Virginia mountain goat. I don't care. I can do bangs. I can do so many different styles. I will never forget when I bought my first wig in 2008. I tried a particular one. That lady said, baby, you got that Rihanna forehead. That ain't gonna work for you. That was the first day somebody, but she was right. And she found one that just blew me away. And to this day, if I go home to St. Louis, that old ass lady that's been working in that beauty supply since like the early 90s, I go to her. She knows her shit.
And she was brutally honest. Do you think let's talk about that. Like, was that brutally honest or just honest?
Well, my forehead is definitely big, but she was letting me know the wig didn't look good on me. So I could have loved the wig and maybe it wouldn't have been her place. So there's that. But no, I like people like that though. It's too many folks walking around with people not telling them the truth. That's why people be out here looking tacky as hell in these streets because they don't have real friends. At the very least, don't gas me up. You don't have to be brutally honest, but there's an opposite. You can just maybe shut up. Because if you get quiet, I'm going to be like, dang, this ain't hitting. Because she ain't saying nothing. I ain't got a yes, bitch. I ain't got a come on shirt, something.
Or if you like it, you ever got one of those?
If I don't like something, I get quiet. You know, if I'm quiet and you posted something where you just knew you snapped, just know that shit was tacky.
Damn. I wish I had some pictures. I'd have put them on the screen, but like tacky or no tacky. Tacky.
It's a little different. I don't know. Just sometimes shit don't be hitting. I don't either. I haven't seen pictures like, now who let me go outside? None of y'all said nothing. I ain't got no real friends.
The best part be the club ones when you just probably like what mid-20 going to the club. Like, what the fuck was I wearing? I should have went home. Lucky I was drunk that night.
Club days I never missed because it's easy. You just put on a maxi dress. It's real easy. You just throw on a dress. It's your game to fuck up. So
I feel like everybody be rocking the bodysuits now.
The bodysuit kind of depends too. Again, I'm about body positivity, but I also know that bodysuits are not on my frame right now. It just doesn't work. I'm like Pooh Bear, so we just not gonna do the bodysuits. I'm not in my bodysuit era.
Nah. So what you rocking though? So you're a mature woman. What do these mature women be wearing out here?
Oh, it's not. I mean, there's not a one size fits all. There's mature women that stay in the gym. There's mature women that got the, what is it? What the word I'm looking for? The metabolism of crackheads. So I can't speak for other women, but for me, I eat very well. I have long legs and a short torso. So, but again, I've been in the house, so I ain't had to worry about shit.
You've been chilling.
I've been chilling, so I just wear whatever the hell I want, but it just depends on where I'm going. I ain't been going nowhere, so I'm casual right now. I'm in my casual era. Now, if I snap it back, it's gonna be a problem for everybody. But right now, I'm chilling. Raggedy ass sundress and loose shorts. I'm remote, so I don't have to. I'm not required to come outside at all.
No requirement. Oh my god.
I work from home. I ain't gotta come outside. I don't have to get dressed up.
So you're not using no PTO, are you? When you leave,
Yeah, I do sometimes. Sometimes I do, but for the most part, as long as my laptop is with me, I'm working. So, like, I was actually working when we were in Miami at one point. I got up, had a laptop, put some stuff in, but that remote life just trained you to just be on a different type of fuck this shit. So,
I know you were like we're in Airbnb, and that was a dope Airbnb. Like the story behind it too. What was it like? One of your friends who's a nurse.
yeah, she's a nurse.
BBL?
She does recovery. It was a recovery spot. So she used the Airbnb. Girls get their little BBLs, they come there and get treated. But it's why it helps to know people. You gotta know some folks. So yeah, but I was able to still get work done. I hopped in on one call, pretended like I was present, like, all right, to the summit. It would be very hard. I know at some point I will, but it would be extremely difficult for me to do an office job.
Don't do it.
There's
It's
no
not worth
need.
it. You lose so much hours in like traffic. It's not really worth it at all.
I know. The company that I'm with, they hired me on for a different company where I did have to go in the office. And I'm like, why did I come all the way here for this shit? We all just sitting here looking dumb. I can do this at home. I'm not productive because I'm not comfortable because I got these clothes and these heels on. Let me go home and be naked. I'll get more done because I'll be at the crib. I can take a nap. I take naps. Wake up.
I don't
Yeah.
feel guilty because at COVID I used to work home and I used to take naps like for an whole hour or two.
As long as you get your job done, but even if you in an office, there's no guarantee you getting the job done. You're just there. Like babysitting.
You're babysitting indeed. Like
babysitting grown folks.
I'm babysitting people who make 4 times as much as me. I'm like, do we do this way? I'm like, yes, we do.
Ain't that crazy?
My biggest lesson is don't be scared to ask for more. And people who think they can do it are doing it. And the people, sometimes they can't do it, but I could find people who can do it for me if I'm a manager. So that's why I'm going for management.
People, the highest paid people are literally the most incompetent ones, is what I've learned. They knew somebody. This is why networking is important. A lot of those people were not qualified for those jobs. They played golf with the right person. They went to the right cigar lounge with the right person. That's literally what it takes for you to get in certain roles. And once I realized that, I'm like, screw all of this. I'm moving just like y'all. Y'all ain't doing nothing. And you basically rich because you knew the right person and you know how to use buzzwords.
Give me some Your buzzwords is crazy.
Ugh, I forget them all. It just
Not like on some real shit though. That's why I got the job I got right now. I got a job that usually takes a college degree. Don't got a college degree. I'm in human resources. I did community service. Community service with the person who was in charge of the whole department like three or four times. I drove in a car with the person.
That's I wish if people understood that, they would quit pushing this if you just work hard, because it's false. You're telling people that they need to do things that other people that have gotten rich or gotten wealthy have not done, but they don't know because some of them ain't been in that situation.
You are absolutely right. Like, we gotta stop acting like working hard does not always get you the results at all. Like, it's really who you know. It's you finding a platform and standing on their shoulders sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's where mentorship and stuff comes in. And I think you get bitter as you get older. At least I have, because I came up in the generation that was very much go to college, get you a good job, and then these things will happen. And when I got in my first corporate space, and again, I was always the only Black girl or one of two or something like that. So I got to watch how people move. I'm like, how is it that he has this role? He's dumb as fuck. This dude is incompetent. And he's talking about how many houses he owns. He didn't even do anything. He's just around the right person. So no, you do need the skill, because at some point somebody got to get the job done. It's going to end up being the underpaid person. Mm-hmm. But it ain't always hard work. Not in a lot of these industries. It's who you know.
It is who you know.
Don't run yourself into the ground for these companies. Take your PTO.
Take your PTO. Don't, if you it's crazy. Someone passed away today, and so one of the people that work at my job, she was telling me a story, and someone got like pretty much trapped underneath a trash truck, and it was supposed to be the day he was off with his kids. So instead of taking the PTO because he wanted to save his PTO,
he died.
He died. I don't mean to be that extreme, guys. I'm sorry, but that's what happened. But take your time. He was tired, apparently. Bad judgment. Take your time. Rest. If you are tired, stay home.
That's fucked up.
Yep. And then like the whole department called off. Manager got PTSD. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Don't play with it. Live your life. Max out all your PTO.
Max out. You got 3. I got 4 minutes left this year. 4 minutes.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Well, 4 minutes of PTO.
What do you do with 4 minutes? What is it? Bathroom break? You get on the Zoom call late. I am so confused.
I'm gonna be yeah, pretty much I can be late for 4 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna be late regardless. But okay. That's fine.
Listen.
Oh no.
Well, we going I got another one for you, right?
Okay.
All right. I need you to close your eyes on this one. I need you to imagine. Close your eyes.
Nigga, what the fuck kind of
Listen, imagine it. Go with it.
Okay.
What kind of sun shoe shit is this? Right? Let me cool. All right. So who is the best person living in your memories? Who's one of the people who touched you the most in life? What's the biggest influence in your life?
I mean, it's a combination of people, and none of them are alive.
They're in your memories.
They're
in your memories. So tell me about somebody.
Is this supposed to be a therapy session?
It's a therapy session at this point. Let's go for it.
Well, one of them just died 2 weeks ago, so I don't know that I want to go there. That's my mentor. That's responsible for a lot of things. So basically it's a combination of people that poured into me and encouraged me to be my authentic self. So that's as much as I can tell you.
So were you ever not your authentic self?
Well, am I supposed to still be closed?
No, it's not. So you good.
Boy, I can cuss you out for that shit. No, I mean, I've always been me, but in corporate, you have to assimilate a little bit and you water yourself down. So that's the only time I haven't been is to keep my lights on and to get promoted. And just because of my, surroundings. So, yeah.
So are you ever going to get out of corporate and be a place where you can always be yourself?
I mean, inevitably, yes. But right now I'm at a point where I am myself. I don't do any really code switching or none of it. I'm just me. So it'll happen when it's supposed to. I feel like I'm working towards it. And at some point, my voice will be the thing that just keeps the bills paid. I mean, I know it's going to happen because I'm that damn good. But yeah, I've always pretty much been me. It's just that in certain environments, you're trying to be a different way. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like even more with the corporate setting, like so like how have you like navigated it when you like why don't you feel like you can't be yourself in corporate?
Well, no Black woman can.
And like elaborate.
Well, none of us, I mean, we Black, you know what that means.
I know what that means.
Yeah. So I mean, we just have to assimilate and, conform to whiteness. Really. You come in, talk a certain way, you can't be too ghetto, just the things that we've always talked about in our community. That's not new information. You play the part to get the role. And yeah, we do what we got to do to get our foot in the door. So yeah.
I mean, like not everybody's going through that like that much anymore. You know what I mean? Like things have changed a lot.
I don't know how that's changed for Black women.
I'm trying. That's why I was hoping, but I'm trying to think here. So a lot of like the Black women in my company, right? They actually are DEI experts. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting these big roles to control like that feeling that you had from stop happening.
Yeah, well, women that work in that space, of course, that's your little job is to fix it. So somebody that's working in that space, yeah, they're coming there to fix a problem. But outside of that, people still deal with it. But I mean, also, things are changing. Women are becoming entrepreneurs. Some of them are working for themselves. So that's the only way it's changing is that people are removing themselves from the system. But we all experience it. We all still talk about it. So, I mean, unless you just working for like a call center somewhere where it don't matter and folks just, you working for a black owned company, depending on the region, that's kind of different. But yeah, that's something it's something that black women have talked about for decades.
Well, I need to learn more about it. I do know, like,
how you work in HR and you don't know the experiences of black women in corporate? I am confused.
Listen, all right. To be fair, I only had the first black woman I've actually met that are in my building. That's actually in the office. Is like it's just one person in HR. That's a black woman.
What about your friendships with black women that work in corporate?
Most of them are like managerial roles, and they're like, life is great, and they're like, you know what I mean, like the life is great point where they're like upper management. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you need to make more regular black.
Exactly. There you go. I need to hear about some strife here. I need to learn something. You know what I mean? Like there.
What the hell?
Like one of my friends, right? She's like remote in Costa Rica. And she's always bragging and showing pictures of Costa Rica. Like her remote is Costa Rica.
Okay, so you only deal with high level black women in the corporate space, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Interesting.
And it's either a really bad extreme, is a high level. Oh shit! Is either high level.
Okay.
Or what was it? Oh my god, my whole joint just.
I don't know.
I'm good, but it's either high level or like not in the corporate space. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, got it.
Let's say from the hood point of view, people are not working the best jobs; they're just making it.
Right. Okay.
People are just either they're getting their degrees, they're getting their education, they're getting these things at like 30. They just really started the building phase. You know what I mean? They dealt with a lot of trauma through the 20s. They're at their 30s. They're just getting it all together and sorting things out mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm used to dealing with. I'm not used to, like you said, you went to school, right? You got the college degree. You got the good job. I'm at the point where it was so much in the middle that they had to, unpack that it took them a decade to get the college degree.
Okay. I mean, degrees ain't worth a damn. But
and they take like what 12 years to learn. They ain't worth fucking damn.
It's some bullshit. It's some BS.
And I'm starting to realize that too. So LinkedIn, which is really crazy. So like let's say the upper management black women I know, none of them have college degrees, but they use LinkedIn to get these jobs. By the way, it's really who you know.
I mean, yeah, that's how I book like meetings and things like that. That's how I kind of got, in the spaces I've got to in tech is from LinkedIn. So it's who you know. Like right now, I'm a part of Forbes Black, and which is 1 million black people. And it's so many. Everybody's like, connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. So it's all these high level black people, really.
That's dope.
Want to connect? Yeah, it's a lot. It's overwhelming, actually. But
I need to check that out. I actually opened the LinkedIn, by the way. I just started my LinkedIn like two weeks ago.
For the first time in life?
Yeah, for the first time in life.
Oh, wow.
And again, like just to unpack it a little bit more is no one's telling me to do that. Does that make sense?
Because a lot of people don't use it. I mean, it depends on what industry you're in. Some people like got a LinkedIn and they have not logged in to LinkedIn in like years. So there's that. Like I have a LinkedIn. I got a second one just for a second job I had because I didn't want them bothering the original page. So I actually have 2 LinkedIn.
Damn.
But that's how I track people down. That's how I have a way of finding like C-suite executives that I need through LinkedIn. There's like a premium LinkedIn where you can find out shit.
Oh, you got the premium, so you can find out more data and shit like that. But like more about you, Cookie, right? So you are like in a spot where a lot of people want to be. You know what I mean?
How you figure that?
I mean, you got it going on. I'm joking. We got it going on.
We all doing the same shit.
It feel that way, but no, like more about it. Like, so what are some barriers or some things that you you've been through in life that made you who you are? You know what I mean? What gave you your edge?
I mean, I'm from North St. Louis. We all got an edge. Growing up in North St. Louis, you're gonna have an edge. That just comes with the territory.
What's going on there? Like,
I mean, it's been like the top 5 murder capitals for the past decade. So I mean, it's rough. It's a lot of poverty. I'm saying you deal with a lot of shit. It's not an easy life. So you become very resilient, damn near bulletproof. So things in life don't really bother you that much when you grow up seeing the kind of things you see in those types of environments. So when you make it out, it's just like, I got street smarts and a little bit of book smarts. So here we go. What we doing? Like, what's up? So it's just really environment. Growing up in seeing shit, drugs, crime, and all of that stuff, and being able to find joy in it because it's just the hand you're dealt. So it teaches you to be pretty independent. So, I mean, my marriage is really no different from nobody else's, for real, for real. I just say life gon' life. I've seen the highs and the lows, and it's gonna be more lows. Just know that the shit is temporary and keep pushing. Really. I feel bad for folks that didn't grow up in them kind of areas because you don't know how to navigate, you don't know how to function. When shit happens in life, you just fall apart. Whereas I'm like, oh, that's a regular Tuesday. You be good.
Shit just happened, but that's...
Shit happens. Yeah, it's very broad. Growing up in St. Louis, we always have this running joke that if you make it out of St. Louis, you can make it anywhere. Some real ass shit.
Oh, yeah, and that's like the Midwest, right?
Huh?
That's the Midwest, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's like, let's see, how far is St. Louis from PA?
I mean,
probably like...
we're smack dab in the middle of the country, so
y'all don't got no beaches or nothing.
Fuck no. You got farms and shit. You got a whole lot of small towns. You got a whole lot of small towns surrounding it. You got cities like Kansas City and St. Louis, and then it's 1,000,000,001 little small towns, So, yeah. When you dealing with like one of the last free states and shit like that, you grow up just saying things different. So you have a different type of hustle, and you just go get it. Really, yeah.
And that's what like made you. So what made you move from there?
Well, I went to college.
And you stayed in the college town you were in?
Yeah, I stayed in the college town. Like I graduated, stayed put for a little bit and won an opportunity where the company I was working for, in order for you to get promoted, you had to get out, which I was ready to go anyways. I knew I wasn't coming back to St. Louis, but it just so happened that promotion took me to Wichita, Kansas, which I didn't want to move to, but I knew that, if you want this promotion, you're going to this is part of the process. This is like the next stop. This is kind of like regional headquarters. So I ended up in Kansas for a while, got a little comfortable because I got with a company and started making some real money to my standard. And I want to say, around COVID is when I moved. I started making trips to Dallas prior to. One of my homegirls was the women's basketball coach for Mississippi State University. So when they made it to the Final Four in 2017, I was following them everywhere they went. When they won a game, I would follow. Sweet 16, and the Final Four was here in Dallas. So when I came here to Dallas for that event, I was like, hold up, this kind of cool. And then one of my best friends from college, she moved here with her fiance. And then I had another reason to come visit. So there were different, and it was right off the highway. It's 5 hours from Kansas. I didn't realize how close Dallas was.
What?
Yeah, it's 5 hours from Kansas. So I started coming up here like, bro, this kind of cool. And when COVID happened, it was just like, fuck it, I'm taking a leap. I'm tired of this job. People getting fired left and right. I want to do something different with life. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I didn't have a job lined up. I was kind of doing a little consulting shit. I just made it happen. Wild as shit. I decided in August that I was going to do it. And November 1st, I was here.
So when you made the decision, everything like fell in place?
No, nothing fell in place. It was rough. The minute I decided I was moving, I started having car trouble. So I had to turn around, buy a new car, which ended up being a lemon. I was driving back and forth to the highway like every weekend to find a plaque. That first 6 months was rough. It was a very rough transition moving here, but because I knew what I came to do, And I also had an opportunity that brought me here as well. It's like a wellness company, mindful wellness company that wanted somebody that knew sales. So they wasn't really paying me shit, it was commission. So I wasn't making nothing from them, but because they were Dallas based, that gave me the excuse to come here. So now the first 6 months was hell. I kept grinding it out. I got out, started networking, and then shit just started clicking. So that's why, because I was able to do that, you can't really tell me shit. Like I did it once, I could do it again. Like if I say I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. And I might not necessarily have all my ducks in a row and have it all figured out. But what I figured it out is when you take risks, the universe will honor it. It'll really meet you halfway. You just can't be scary. So the more risk I take, the less I worry about shit. Because I know what the other side looks like. So yeah.
That's amazing. So you're in Dallas right now. Isn't like Dallas kind of like, I guess it's a lot of black people that moved there, right?
Oh yeah, Dallas is black as shit.
Yeah. So it's like one of the black meccas of the United States.
No, I mean it's not Atlanta, but Dallas is pretty black. There's a bunch of niggas here. Yes. It's black. A lot of black people, a lot of black money. So yeah.
I like watching like how y'all network there in Atlanta. It's different.
I'm not in Atlanta though.
I mean, in Atlanta though. I like comparing it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my networking is with Atlanta people. I network more with Atlanta people than I do with Dallas folks.
And why is that?
Probably because I've traveled because the people, the support that I've needed in the podcast space has really come from Atlanta. Like I did David Shan's podcast boot camp like in 2021. So I was part of that, his Facebook, podcast boot camp, and started connecting with more Atlanta folks. Like fucking Carl Thomas was in the group. So what? Like we Facebook friends now. Like I DM him. I was like, "Are you going to the podcast summit?" Like that's And plus I flew to Atlanta twice for 2 of the podcast brunches, the Q&A brunches. So I've spent a decent amount of time in Atlanta for this, and they with the shit, so that's where a lot of my energy is gone.
You ever think about moving?
Atlanta was a city that I thought I was going to move to after college. Actually, that's what's funny. Like, that's what I had my sights set on, but that was many years ago. That was before it became the place for black people. I actually wanted to move to Atlanta because the movie ATL came out. I wanted to move to Atlanta before that. But when the movie came out, I was like, yep, I meant to go to Atlanta. That shit. And that shit didn't happen. I was still in the little Joplin, Missouri. So no, that it's funny that the city that I originally thought I would move to after college is the one where I'm making most of my connections now.
I'm still thinking about moving to Atlanta. Like so many of my friends moved to Atlanta. Like, I guess you could say my best white friend. Oh, yeah, you got like a best black friend. I got a best white friend.
I do. I got a best white friend and a best Mexican friend. Like so, my sprinkled. One of them was for that small. Both are from the small towns that I lived in. So, yeah.
And listen, man, I gotta say about my boy David. He married a black woman, so I'm just saying he was in the hood. I see what he was looking at the whole time.
I ain't gonna touch that. Bless you.
Bless his heart. I love him to death.
Bless it, David.
I try to replace him with like another white dude, and like he failed it. He failed, bro.
When you got that one white one, that's just what it is.
It is what it is, bro.
It literally is what it is. I feel like this lash is moving.
I do too, a little bit.
Not you talking about, boy, fuck you. Okay, maybe it's just.
I can't be honest.
It's a shadow. It's trolling. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Do I know if Dallas will be home permanently? I don't know. I think that it'll do what it needs to do for the time it needs to do. And we'll just see from there. It'll ultimately be about where opportunities take me, I think. So
I think Dallas is a good fit for you. Are you ever going to be doing like, all right, that's what I really want to talk to you about, right? You've been really busy. I've been really busy. And are you ever going to do live shows with your podcast?
Eventually, yeah. But me, my biggest thing is building up an audience first for shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you need to build the community so somebody actually shows up to a live show. So that's been I mean, I've done events. I've done I've done two dirty bag meetups. And the funny thing is I did them 2 months apart last summer. And that shit alone stressed me the fuck out. Because trying to organize space and the money that goes into it. So eventually I will. I'm positive. People tend to like me better in person. So if anything, I'll probably end up trying to do a live collaboration with another podcast is where I think I'll.
And I think that's what I'm seeing a lot too. Like more like one or two or three, even like three podcasts will do a collaboration.
I think there's one podcast I got my eye on right now that they just started. I can, sometimes you can just tell, I'm like, these girls finna be good as shit.
Who is it?
They out the way. I don't know them yet to be shouting them out. I'm gonna see how they are personally, but there's a podcast here that they just started, and I just watch, and I'm like, they out the gate, not fucking around with their consistency, and you can see them like switching up things that don't work every week. Like they already they own their Zoom. They're gonna be damn good. So I know that's somebody I'm probably gonna want to collaborate with. But I'm gonna just watch it for a little bit. I love to sign off on people. It's a gift and a curse. Sometimes you sign off on folks too quick and you be like, oh shit, you shady as fuck, bitch. So I see the potential. I'm like this right now.
See how you do.
They're gonna be good though. I can just the personalities and everything, and apparently they're like best friends. But I'm like, these girls, this motherfucker's gonna take over.
Are you ever thinking about having a co-host?
Fuck no. Almost every co-host that I knew starting out fell out. I'm gonna say this, one of my highest streaming episode to date, downloaded episode, the one that no other episode has touched, and it was literally just audio, was another podcast. It was two girls, and they were so dope. I literally they were like my 6th episode. I think I didn't even know them. I was just watching their lives, and I slid in their DM like, excuse me, I know I don't know you guys, but can you do my podcast? And they was like, yeah, when? I said, oh. But the episode even kind of like went viral. I did a clip of it or something about it on Facebook, and but I don't know what happened, but they disappeared. The other podcast that gave me my first opportunity, they were two best friends. They were the ones that kind of helped me. Like the podcast name changed between me doing 2 of their episodes. It went from like sticky notes to dirty purse to dirty bag. They fell out. And they're one of my top streaming. All of my top streaming episodes are collaborations of people that no longer deal with each other. I think that's the wildest shit. So yeah, I'm like, how y'all ain't getting along, or y'all not recording, or y'all not that close no more, and y'all episodes still doing numbers.
I think it's the reason they probably didn't. All right, so best friends are going to argue. And sometimes we finally get that time together to discuss things and deep things and not just have fun. And we argue and we don't know how to deal with it at first. I know with me and my best friend, we argued a couple times. We had little breakups. Guys have big breakups with their friends. We got back together. By the end of the day, we had to learn, like, we think different. We had to start respecting each other instead of just having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see who was it? Mandy. Mandy was on Social Proof actually. And
Mandy.
Mitch. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and I'm gonna sit here and draw a whole damn blank.
Was it on a new hot seat?
It's Horrible Decisions. Horrible Decisions.
Ooh, I love her.
Okay. So here's what happened. That was Dave's most controversial episode because they was like this. She didn't agree with nothing he was saying as far as everybody needing a podcast, which I actually agree with her on that. But he was asking her what advice would she give podcasters, like as far as going into business with friends, and she said, don't. Her and Weezy used to be very close. They went from being very close when they started that platform to now they are co-workers. I think they're doing their last tour stop. They only have like a few dates left and they are not doing tours again. I think they're about to branch off. Because she already has her own other podcast and the other one's like producing and all of that. But I remember 2017, before I started my podcast, one of the reasons I knew it was time to go, Weezy did a post about how she went to Cuba. We went like 4 months apart. and how that trip just like was so inspirational and just such a dope thing. She came back to America and they launched that podcast. I was like, it's a sign. Because Cuba did the same thing for me. I went to Cuba, I was like, I want to create, I want to change. But the fact that they are not close anymore and they're just business partners, I couldn't imagine bringing somebody on a dirty bag and us falling out. And now we got to have a business conversation. And who gets the baby? Like, I'll bring you on as a guest, but baby, this is my shit.
This is my shit.
I put blood, sweat, and tears into this. Maybe somebody can come back and occasionally come co-host or something like that. But I'll fight you about mine. I had the one podcast, like they broke up. One of them came on as a guest last year, and the other one, like, it was almost like I didn't exist. So I'm like, okay, is there going to be tension between me and you? Because I let the homie come on. Because y'all was both dope as fuck. Like, it was like the best combination. I had 3 guests that day. We was all either drunk or high as hell with the exception of one person. That episode, it was the spirit is not your little friend. That is one of the most lit episodes to this day. I don't think anything's going to ever top it. Because you had spiritual, high, queer, it was just married. It was just so many personalities. So it would kill me to bring somebody in and for us to invest so much time into this and then we don't get along no more.
So you think it's the big personality thing? Like 2 big personalities?
The way Manny broke it down and it made so much sense is that people don't know how to separate the friendship from business. Like, because y'all friends, somebody might start slacking and expecting you to pick up the, slack, not doing their part for the platform. And the thing is, I'm going to expect you to work. So if we so it's just she's basically saying the dynamics of your friendship are going to change. So I don't know. It would be nice too, because when I bring certain guests on, they lit and folks like bring them back. And I'm like, yeah, typically my guests do come back at least twice. There's very rare that I have a guest come on once that doesn't come back again. Unless you one of them guests that people DM me and said, don't bring that bitch back on there, because that has happened.
For real? Like, why? Why do you think? This is a safe place.
Fuck it. Because this guest was one of those people that gets on social media and like they good with the memes, they funny, they seem like one of them little tough, like, F these dudes type girls, like really super confident. But that don't always translate when the mic come on. It became a totally different person that couldn't really necessarily answer the type of questions you would expect her to with the type of confidence she exudes on her Facebook. So I ended up having was her and a guy on. It was the first time I had a girl and a guy together. He ate her up. I ain't gonna lie, he ate her up. And people were like, they loved him because he was quirky and nerdy. He was a breath of fresh air. But with her, it was just like, bruh, what the fuck was that? And me and her were cool. So that's what made it even more awkward. Like, she kind of wanted me to delete some of when he was eating her up. And I'm like, I really can't delete that? First of all, it made for a really good show. But for her on a personal level as a friend, sis, that didn't look good. Like, he asked you one simple question, what's your value? And you couldn't answer it. You kept saying, I know my value throughout the episode, but when he backed you into a corner, you choked. Everybody was like, damn. I mean, even me, I was sitting on the other end like, this was your time to eat his ass up.
Should have pulled the fire alarm.
But people that didn't know each other were listening to the episode and was just like, don't bring her back on. I'm like,
damn.
But to date, it's my top 5 download. It's my top 5 downloaded episodes. That's crazy. It's in my top 5. So I'm like, who's still listening to this?
Yo, I'm listening from like the beginning.
I'm gonna be honest. My first 7 episodes, like, they were the best ones. It's the funny thing in podcasting is everybody wants to like want production, which is important. Of course it is, and the lighting and the cameras and all of that. But people forget how to put on a good show. And for me, I'm like, why was my first episode so good? Because everybody was just raw. Like, we were coming fresh out of the pandemic. The outside was just opening back up. So folks had a lot of shit to get off their chest. Like, I don't like my kids. Fuck this job. It was really, I was battling depression. I wanted to kill myself. Like, it was all kinds of shit. I had 2 sex workers back to back. I did a 2-part episode, sex workers.
Yo, that must have sucked during the pandemic. No pun intended.
No,
But
they weren't. Well, no, one of them, she was OnlyFans. No, she made
okay.
she made 10 grand a month. She showed me. She showed it too. She showed me the numbers.
God damn. Would you ever do
So,
OnlyFans though? You ever thought about it?
what would I do on OnlyFans?
I was asking. That's why I asked.
What would be my OnlyFans talent?
I mean, don't y'all just gotta look good or something?
I mean, 5 years ago, I probably could have got away with anybody trying to pay for these monkey titties. What I'm gonna do on OnlyFans? Play with my muffin top? Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, somebody gonna be like, I need 10 of those.
Some dude tried to hit on me outside of here one day. And when he called me, he was like, man, you want to know how I knew I liked you, man? You got them saggy ass titties. Like I knew you was a grown woman. I said, nigga, excuse me? He was like, but it's sexy though. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't do an OnlyFans. You better just pull up on me and cash out me. No, I'm not in my OnlyFans body era. I can get her back, but I really like Douce slushies and I love catfish and grits.
That's a crazy combination, yo.
Oh, 2 doors down.
That's not right.
It ain't. You gonna blow it. You gonna get some meat on you. They call it that welcome to Texas weight. That is real. Man, I said we can't get on another lockdown.
Yo, I got fat during lockdown too, yo. I was in that joint, like I was thick.
I was in the gym, I lost a shit ton of weight right before the lockdown hit. So that's what's crazy. So you see all these folks on Facebook and Instagram doing these recipes. So that brioche bread, a dude was like, they got this at Aldi's. He was making French toast with brioche bread. So I made French toast for 45 days straight. So when you eating that much bread for over a month,
brioche French toast costs you everything. All your results.
Man, that bread comes already flavored. Ain't gonna lie. It's already sweet. Greatest thing ever. So yeah, OnlyFans, but it was interesting learning about what really takes place with OnlyFans, and it's a lot more than what folks think, you know.
There is something I wanted to bring up that you said never to, right? I think you said never to. I think I'm putting words in your mouth. I may have been words in your mouth. But what? You said you would never do a dating episode or dating podcast.
No, that's not my thing. The problem is don't nobody know what to talk about. So everybody hopped in the podcast space and said, what is everybody getting hype off right now? Dating. I think that's fucking dumb. So you mean to tell me you spending all this money on a camera and this, that, and the third to just talk dating? I think that people that ain't getting none are the ones that are doing it. So no, I think there's way too much going on with the Black community to be sitting up here just talking about dick and pussy every day. Like, come on.
I'm turned off of it at this point in my life. I'm like, yo, everybody's just like, that's what it is. It's just dick and pussy. It's not even like, it's. I'm not learning nothing from it.
No, the thing is, people don't understand how unattractive it makes them look. This is the thing. A lot of people cap. A lot of folks are looking for shock factors. Like some people are good at it. That's just their thing. Like Finesse, that is his lane. That boy is a fool, but that's his shit. He can work it well. He dresses the part to where dudes look up to him. He brings the type of girls on these dudes want to sleep with. He's figured out the formula. Everybody else, we know he's pulling the chicks that he's talking about because the girls being in his comments throwing themselves at him. So we see how it's working out for him. Mm-hmm. But you a ugly, patchy beard ass motherfucker talking about you, girl. Ain't nobody finna sleep with, ain't nobody giving you no ass, bruh. So you need to be nicer. Like figure out a way to be nice. Like you're not gonna get dates creating these type of platforms because people looking at you like, I would never give him the time of day. He gets on there and spews venom about women. Why would I want to date you? So I don't think people understand how much it works to their disadvantage in real life because I would not want to date any of these people. So who are you? How are you pulling people when you talk crazy every day? Like Finesse is the only person that can get away with that shit.
And we know he's just being a comedian at this point.
He is. And that's the thing. He'll tell you that he don't mess with the talent. I mean, he got options outside of that. The girls be in the comments. I saw a girl one day talking about, now I want to do it to you. After he posted the video of him beating somebody's ass in the gym and had a gun. So it was just like, he's covered. So he can do that. Everybody else, figure out what it is you're actually good at, because dating is not. So no, I've had some episodes where I've had a cougar on. Well, she ain't a cougar, an older woman that was able to give advice to younger girls. I'll hold space for that, because that's somebody that, first of all, has pulled the type of man she wants, that's had a man buy her house. I listen to that.
Oh yeah, I gotta know how she did that. Like that's actually interesting.
She gave the whole story, like she just said, but she's somebody that got married young and went through the whole, unfortunate things that girls go through. But she got to a point where she demanded more, and she's a lawyer, so she's already in her bag too. So I'll hold space for that. And I did an episode where I had two married women. One was on the brink of divorce, talking about what it is to be married as a stay-at-home mom and married and independent, being a boss. That content made sense for my audience. So for me, I have grown-ass women. Grown-ass women don't want to hear no stupid-ass shit, because we know it ain't real. In real life, it's just not real. And it comes from kids and broke people. So no, I like to talk about things that actually impact us, and that makes sense. But if I go there about dating, the next round, it might be a comedian to crack some jokes about it, but to really argue that shit, get the fuck out of here.
I won't, so one of my personas is I'm gonna give bad advice, by the way. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be some really good fucking bad advice.
What's the purpose though? What's the end goal?
It's just comedy.
Okay.
It's all fun.
If you're positioning yourself as a comedian, that makes sense. But when you dead ass,
oh hell no. And that's what I mean. Like, some of that shit just be hilarious. Like, some of the things they be saying, I don't take it serious. I'd be like, this is actually really funny.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, you ain't got no, somebody ain't got laid in a while. And it's okay to just say that. Like, why not do an episode talking about your frustrations? Because you know what? You might pull, because somebody might be like, dang, ain't nobody touched him in a minute. So he's probably clean. He's probably clean. Ain't nobody touched him, and I don't know.
I might do a draw STD free my whole life.
Look, that's important. Like, just find your lane. And people ain't finding their lane. They're trying to swerve in other folks' lane for clicks. I guess. It's dumb.
It is dumb. And I like how original your podcast is too. It's dope. Like, the topics are dope. The people are dope. I'm like, I don't know how the hell she find these people, but she find these damn people.
I put out a call with a few. Like, one of them, the sex worker was a colleague. And the rumor got out that somebody found her OnlyFans and it turned into this huge thing. And she was upset about it. And then after the smoke cleared, I was like, I got a podcast if you ever want to talk about it. She was like, yeah. And then when I said on Facebook, oh my God, I'm going to have a sex worker on, another former sex worker said, and bitch, you didn't ask me? I was like, girl, she was like, you wouldn't ask a streetwalker that was strung out on drugs? I was like,
damn.
She put her business, man, that episode is so electric. And now she's a mental health advocate. She's a spoken word poet. But she talked about going to jail. And so it was really me just like, I have an idea. And I would ask somebody and it would just open the door for other things. That's something I have to get back to. But the thing is, some of those people are not from here. So my problem is, being in Dallas, a lot of people are very conservative. None of these guests were conservative at all. A lot of my early guests were from St. Louis. So all of my stuff was remote. But now I'm like, I got to get a budget to fly y'all in, because I need you to be here in front of me now. I want you in the studio. I want people to get this raw stuff. So now I'm going back to them old clips that are just audio to see how I can repurpose it. Because a lot of people came and met me in this season, but they don't know the day one episodes. And I'm like, y'all need that content. Because that was some, I got a United States Congresswoman when I had 200 Instagram followers. Like, nobody does that. But it's because she knew me from being in the trenches with her in Ferguson. So that first season, I don't know how I pulled off the guests that I did, but I did. And now I have to find the middle ground of, okay, visual quality, but you need to get that realness back.
I think, like, so with the visual quality, I think it could be like okay, but I think what really, like, for me is the audio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the audio, sometimes it sounds like somebody was frying chicken in the background. But once I got the hang of Audacity, towards the end, I was cool on it. But now that I'm in it, sometimes in the studio, audio can go crazy. I've had some episodes where I'm like, now, how's my audio still trash? Because I'm mad now. Like, what the fuck just happened? But it's finding that balance. Podcasting is an audio experience. So, yes, your audio has to be A1. but I want everything to be A1 at this point. I have a standard now for how I want this shit to look. And I need season 3 to be that balance of like that raw hood, but I need the hood to be in front of me.
So what is the vision for season 3?
The vision for season 3, I kind of want to read, like I just said it. I want to kind of revisit that, but I want to get more local talent. I actually, a guy that DJ'd a birthday party for one of the guests, one of the on-air personalities, he DM'd me last week and was like, I'm still waiting for an invite. And I'm like, bro, we could have been did this. So it's shooting my shot more with them type of personalities. I want to get more comedians in here that's been through some shit. So to continue on what I was doing before, but it's just that season 1 rawness, I need it back. I need it back. And I understand we was all going through some shit because I was going through things at that time. But I think that when you're going through stuff, you have the best content because you ain't fake. You got to get this shit off your chest and you just do it. So
yeah, that's great.
You got to, that's why I said maybe I need to chill and take some time to go live and experience some more shit. It's been a little quiet. So might need to get outside, get traumatized a little bit or something. Come back.
Get traumatized. Shoot. Oh my God. You just brought it up. So another question. I was thinking about this all day. All right. So it was about trauma. Is it better to stay away from trauma, getting trauma, so you don't have to repair as much? What you think about, like, let's say, I'm trying to think I'm gonna explain this. Oh my God.
Come on.
People are healing a lot. I think we focus too much on healing, but what about just preventing the need to heal, if that makes sense?
Well, you can't prevent the need to heal because healing comes from being traumatized by going through things in life. We all gonna go through shit. So you can't avoid trauma. I mean, you can do your best to stay out of certain situations, but life is going to happen. Like if somebody got hit by a car, that's trauma. If somebody got raped, that's trauma. If somebody, there's just so many different ways that trauma hits people differently. And that's why I posted a clip yesterday, episode where my girl was like, everybody needs trauma therapy because trauma affects people in different ways. So you can't avoid it. I'm glad that we're talking about healing because folks are finally going to get therapy instead of just all becoming full-blown addicts. So, like, as long as you're living on this earth, unless you're somebody that just doesn't allow yourself to experience things and you stay in the bubble, you're going to be traumatized by something. It's just how you deal with it. I think people will use healing as a buzzword because healing is just it's a journey. It's not even a destination. Because you're going to always have triggers. But I'm pro therapy. I've been through it. So, yeah, you're going to get traumatized. Life is ghetto.
Life is ghetto, man.
It is.
I'll try and have a more medium ghetto life. You know what I mean? Like, I think honestly, like being from the hood, I don't think I ever want to like not be from the hood. If that makes like, I don't want to forget what I've been through. If that makes sense, because I'm grateful for what I've been through.
Are you from the hood?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay. I don't seem like it, do I?
But now you do give me, I'm from the hood and I ain't turning back and I don't fool with you jigaboos vibe.
Jigaboos. That's why I was like, all right, so I think that's out of statute of limitation. But I grew up in like with my grandparents. I grew up in a household with, like, let's say I was 15, brother got ran. No, my brother was 15. I was 12. He got ran down at 15 by that, was it alcohol, tobacco, and firearms company. Apparently, he was trafficking like close to like 50 to 70K worth of guns or whatever. I remember one day, right? So we were playing a game. Things are all nice. People are out of nowhere. They just kicked through the door, guns pointed at us. And guess what my cousin did?
What?
This man said, "Oh, wait, let me save the game." As a kid, this man was more focused on saving the game than the AR-15 at his head.
Oh, wow.
And I grew up with stuff like that. And then let's say my mom was dealing. So she wasn't in my life to high school, but she was dealing. I knew something was up when when I looked at her pay stub, it was like $12 an hour, but she was paying for a house and a new car. Okay. And then there was envelopes given to other people's parents.
Got it. Okay.
And I guess that's my dirty bag right there. But so I had a guilt. I found out what was in the envelopes, and I had guilt complex for so many years because it was parents I was going to school with.
That's crazy.
I was the envelope giver.
I heard just pushing away, putting in work.
Yo, I didn't even know I was a successful. I didn't even get a cut, which is I'm mad about. Like, damn, Mom, you gave me a cut.
Those be using their kids, man.
Yo, you don't even know, and it's like as soon as they. I mean, like, you can't be guilty about it. Cops, you look nervous. I'm like, nah, I'm not, because I don't know what it is.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
I don't know what the fuck happened. But I grew up in, like, that lifestyle, like, heavy, like, always near. I would grow up, my mom was pimping. Had 2 guys at the cookout at all times. They got along. She was always the breadwinner.
Come on, Mom.
Listen, man.
Not even mad at it. We should all be like moms.
Well, that's what I grew up with.
At all. Not
but and that's why I'm like so reserved. And I went to the military for like some years. You know what I mean? So that's where my reservedness came from. So I've been in the hood.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, so I got your hood story. Sorry. But I ain't gonna ask that again. You hood.
Damn. You know, that was my whole that's gonna be like part of my comedy sketch. No one thinks I'm from the hood. They're like, bro, you wasn't from the hood. I'm like, bro, what the fuck you mean? I remember at like 15, I had to make the decision. I went up to go see my friend. He was playing in the field with a shotgun. I was like, bro, I walked home. I was like, I ain't with this shit. I'm gonna turn my fucking PlayStation.
Okay.
But you know, that's just me unpacking. But I ain't gotta prove it no more, man. That shit was crazy.
You ain't gotta prove it no more. We good with that. You ain't gotta prove shit.
So don't be challenging my hoodness, man. Damn.
I'm not gonna challenge it again. We good. I'm leaving it alone.
But what makes people not seem like they from the streets, though?
I mean, it's kind of ignorant to say, because I mean, some people are just street and some ain't. So I mean, sometimes when you say I wouldn't guess you from the hood, it's really just a vibe. But you don't know what you don't know till you talk to people. Like exactly. I didn't say that, but I don't know until I talk to you and see your story. Because some folks that try to pretend to be hood that ain't from the hood. So it just like it's not a monolithic thing.
Like all the UK actors.
Yeah, they're talented. Those are people that commit to their craft. They get the roles they do because they commit to the craft, and everybody else should take notes. You want to get good at something, work your ass off to the point where we can't even tell.
Damn. Yeah, like they really play really good hood niggas. The UK actors. I'm like, bruh.
Great hood niggas.
I was like, yo, how you get more hood nigga roles than hood niggas? Nah, but like, I don't think it's like the hood niggas I've been around. Like, I remember times when we was in the streets as young kids. I don't know if you was this initiative in St. Louis. I remember we used to get things like plugs, like you know, like the what is it? The electric plugs, like you put in your car. So a lot of people notice, like the like the feminine thing, right? That like you take it out the bulb and you can literally shatter a car glass window silently with it.
No,
we did shit like that. We should have. We had the internet. We would all been like 10 years. You would have been like, yeah, you hood now. I've been 10 years in.
No, I was a hood kid whose people kept her in sports. So I was gonna be talented. They knew how to keep me busy. So I was in the hood, but I was a cheerleader, and then I ran track. So lived in the hood, but I was also a part of the desegregation program. So while I lived in the hood, I got bussed out to very wealthy white schools. Part of that program in the 80s, late 80s. So yeah, so I mean, you go to sleep to the lullaby of gunshots, but then you go to school the next day and you excel in athleticism. So they liked me because I knew how to do shit. I was, that girl. So there's a lot of balance there. So I didn't get in trouble. Had a vision for my life as a little kid. This is what I wanted to do.
That's so dope though. Like, my one of my parents told me, shoot, they was like, as long as you don't go to jail, you know what I mean? That's what I was told. That was my expectations.
Yeah.
But like, that's so dope that you had like the desegregation program.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, isn't it? You're around white people that don't want you there. It's only a good program if you're if you're an athlete, because everybody loves athletes. White, black people love athletic, talented kids. So that's what what saved me. So yeah.
So were you doing the flips and stuff?
Huh?
Were you the flipping cheerleaders?
Medium flip. I wasn't doing back handspring. I mean, the few times I was the one with the rhythm. I was the personality. But I had the technique down, so they had to let me in the door. So kept me out of trouble. I was and I was fast. I could run. So I always had something to do to where I wasn't gonna be in the streets. It wasn't. Yeah.
Damn. I'm learning a lot about you right now, Cookie. I feel like when I listen to all your
I put so much of my life out.
I'll be listening to it and it's just like now I'm starting to see why.
First of all, I'm gonna let you cook.
Listen, I knew that you was in the streets for like 1 year in Texas. I knew that part.
I did a whole episode where I literally read my journal.
I didn't get to that point yet.
When people ask me questions about myself, like general settings, I'm like, you are not a subscriber. You can't be. I put all my dirt out there because half the time I'm not even sober. So there's very few questions about me that the dirty bag does not answer.
I'm like episode, I think I'm like 6. And I fell asleep one night to it. And then now I got to go back and like find out where I'm at.
I only had a few first season where they were really long. The really long was where I had long-winded guests, but
it wasn't like bad. I just was tired. And I was like, all right, next episode. And I was like,
no, I'll toot my own horn back. Season 1 was that. I mean, this was good too, but that one right there, that was them gutter episodes.
I like the gutter episodes. They got character.
That episode had character for days. I'm like, we going.
Oh, lastly though, before we wrap it up, I did want to talk to you about so did you see the new one of the new episodes from the Hot Seat with David Shands?
Yeah, I've seen a few. Yeah.
That was at the conference. What was it called? It was about her relationship and dating life.
Oh, I caught that snippet earlier. Yeah.
You didn't watch the whole episode yet?
Mm-mm.
It's a really good episode. I was surprised. Yo, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Shins, but he's been using words like whore and all kinds of different words I didn't think his Christian mouth would say.
Because he's figuring out what draws people in. Really, it's just but he's learning that he has to step it up for engagement. It's literally he's doing the same thing we all doing. All right, what's not working for me? What is working? I think that people have called him straight-laced.
Yeah, there it is.
And now he's like, oh, okay, bet. And the more he does those hot seats, people love those hot seats. So when you see your audience responding to something, you gotta go with it. That's all. That's what makes better platforms is actually paying attention to what your audience does and does not like. Smart.
So I think one vision for myself is I'm probably going to turn this into more of a show than like a podcast, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like all my segments and like my different like tunes, like the Would You Rathers, the Dayton Jones. I'll be doing like the spoof. And they like the show element of it better than like the podcast discussions all the time.
And you got to go with it. If people are telling you what they like, and you like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, we told you we didn't like that shit.
Yeah, if you probably didn't realize, you probably didn't check my YouTube out for a while, right? So when I first met you, you remember I was at like what 28 subscribers. I think I was at 28. Listen, I was trying my best. I was out here like only 28 subscribers deep. I'm at 184 right now in a month.
Then you've been working your shit.
So I was like, you listen, man. I was trying to catch up to you, man. I'm trying to be like you, Uncle Crow.
But my audience loves my audience loves audio though. They don't give a shit about YouTube because I started out audio. So my audience are the ones that will let it play from Spotify while they washing dishes or picking their kids up. So I don't know who your audience is, but I know what my audience is. It's been twisting, like pulling teeth, getting them to go to YouTube, but they like listening to it while they're doing adult shit. Again, It depends on your age and you knowing who your audience is. 35 to 44 ain't sitting up watching YouTube all day.
Were you 44?
No, I'm not.
You 38?
No, you're getting close.
You give me
tune into the Dirty Bag podcast to see what I said about my age, y'all.
Yo, listen, I need to find out now because I want to ask you, but I just don't know.
I talk about it. How we, ladies and gentlemen, tuning into this episode, this is what we call not researching our guests thoroughly.
You got 100 episodes. Oh, you got 100 episodes.
The most recent ones, I talk about it too much. Hell, I talk about it on my page in shorts. I just have an audience of grown, mature women that like grown, mature content. Who is your audience?
Listen, they some weirdos, but I don't mess with y'all. But they so they're people. Let's say they're my 25 to 32 who are just having fun.
Even close to serving the same people.
Exactly, but like I got my. They still like looking at, you know what I mean? Like, all I gotta say is you got
to touch my YouTube because I'm done with the season. I haven't even been touching the YouTube, but the downloads on other things are still going up.
I like it.
Yeah, they don't like sitting up watching videos. They like to see it on IG. That's why I'm really big on dropping clips because that's the only place they're gonna see my face since they won't watch the YouTube. So I give them enough on there and TikTok. I keep them fed.
Anyways, though, we could talk about this forever because I got 100 questions to be honest. What was it? So, parting remarks. What is one thing that you could tell my audience that could help their futures?
That could help their future?
Yeah, like what lesson have you learned that you think you can give to my audience?
Stop trying to be like everybody else on social media. It's dumb. Figure out what it is you trying to do, what it is you good at, and what people want from you, and chase it relentlessly. I'm tired of seeing these copy-paste versions, these Walmart equate all these versions of other people. Just be your damn self. Because if you're not being yourself, you're not going to last long anyway. It's going to be very hard for you to keep trying to pretend to be something you're not. You're going to get burned out from it. Because what it means is you can't move until whatever you trying to copy yourself after moves. That's crazy. Be yourself and log off social media sometimes and go touch some grass and get reconnected to the real world. Cut the cap.
Cut the cap.
Cut the cap.
Anyways, so where can we find you? I know we can do a Dirty Bag podcast, but what's your plugs and your for your IG and your gym?
It is the Dirty Bag podcast on IG, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Google, wherever you get your podcast.
With that, I bid you adieu. If you appreciate the episode, definitely like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Last episode was I really appreciate all the shares. Was definitely over 40 shares. Great viewership. Really appreciate it. If you want to be on a podcast, let me know. I'm down. And I would love to I'll let you know in a preview soon. So peace out, y'all. Really appreciate y'all.